there, it's Jen, the Board Game Librarian, and today I'm going to do a Kickstarter preview of On Pointe, the ballet board game designed by Elisa Prasad. This Kickstarter preview was not a paid sponsorship, and I'd like to thank Elisa for her trust and confidence in this preview. I'm not going to do a lot of rules explanation in this video. There are a couple of other ones out there, one by Bored to Death and Board Game Coffee, which have done a really great job of explaining the rules. I'd like to spend a little more time about my impressions and my opinion of this game, mostly because I spent 10 years as a ballet dancer. On Pointe, the ballet board game, is a board game for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, 20 to 30 minutes. When Elisa had contacted me about doing some work for her, I must say that I was so excited about this opportunity. Again, because I had spent 10 years very extensively doing ballet and pointe. There are no other games out there that tackle the topic of ballet specifically, and this to me is a really unique theme. In this day and age where we have so many games with fantasy themes or space and science fiction or a lot of farming and Euro themes, to have a game about ballet is quite refreshing to me. And I think for someone like me too, and I would describe myself as a very girly gamer, you know, I'm wearing my Aurora t-shirt, I love all things pink and tutu. Having more games like this that speak to a demographic like me is wonderful, because it embraces more and more people within the hobby. In On Pointe, you are working from rehearsal all the way through dress rehearsal and on forward to an actual production to become the Prima Ballerina. You're going to be doing this by playing a movement card from your hand, and it's going to have a variety of different movement that you can do. What I love that Elisa has done about this game is in the movement cards really embrace the ballet theme. There are pas de chat cards where you can go sideways. There are jeté cards where you can go forwards or backwards. Tendu cards, again, forwards, backwards, sideways. Dégagés and all the things like that. Looking at these cards really brought a smile to my face because it reminded me so much of being in the rehearsal space and doing our movement at the bar and on the floor as well. Their artwork on these cards is adorable. There's adorable little children, older dancers as well, and the depictions of the actual movements, and the jetés, the grand jetés, are very accurate as well, which I really loved. So by using these movement cards, you are going to be moving from the rehearsal part of the board forward into dress rehearsal. Along the way, you are going to encounter some props that you can use for some set collection to build on your personal tableau. At the end of the game, a certain amount of paired colors will earn you victory points as well. Again, just encountering these props reminded me of being in productions of the Nutcracker for several years, where, you know, we might have needed a fan, or we might have needed a particular tiara, or when I was the Rat Queen, you know, a mask to go along with that. So that was a really nice touch. And for someone who loves set collection, that really speaks to me as well. Along the way too, you're going to need to grab a partner, and again, very thematic. In most ballets, you do need a partner of some sort, and to go forward into your actual show. You're going to be moving along from rehearsal through the backstage to the actual stage, dodging curtains and things like that, and trying to become the Prima Ballerina. You are as well going to be collecting from different parts of the board, tokens to add to your tutu. You're blinging out your tutu is essentially what you're doing. And again, this really made me laugh inside, and it brought a smile to my face because, Ballerinas love their bling. We love the fancy bodices, the fancy tutus, for our pointe shoes as well, having multicolored pointe shoes, putting gems in our hair. It's definitely part of the ballet culture. And again, I love that Elisa really embraced that. As you're moving along, you will have to do your pas de deux with your partner, get a certain amount of points, make it to the grand stage, and that is the game. I found this game to be most enjoyable to play. I wouldn't say that it's a very challenging game. I love that Elisa has really embraced that this would be a starter game after Candyland for a lot of children. And so many children around the ages of 8. I could even say you could play this with younger children as well, even in the 5, 6, 7 range, would be having a great time. And a lot of small children that age are already in dance class. I know several people in my life who have children who are in dance class, and this will make a perfect gift for them, and a great introduction to a modern board game. Again, with Elisa saying that she wanted it to be from Candyland to this to another gateway game, I could see, even if you have never played a modern board game before, that you would really enjoy this. It's got a lot of very introductory skills that you can pick up along the way, and it's not so confusing where you're going to be spending a lot of time referring back to the rule book. The rule book that Elisa has put together is very clear, very thorough, and probably one of the best I've seen in a very long time. And this is Elisa's first designed game and her first game on Kickstarter. So kudos to you, Elisa, for having either yourself or someone do a very thorough job on this game. Especially too, if you're going to have parents who are going to be playing it with children, then it's going to be one that they can quickly learn and teach to anxious children who really want to play. I think if you're going to be an older gamer who is going to be playing this with some adults or teenagers, I think you could have a lot of fun with it as well. And that to me is the brilliance of a game like this, that it is something that would be a little more of a challenge for children, and maybe a little more of kind of an easy breezy game for adults, especially those as a gateway game. I like that a lot. There's set collection going on, there's movement on a board, and a couple of different points that you need to meet and make. And you're really racing across this board to get to the end and final grand stage to see who becomes the Prima Ballerina. Again, playing this game reminded me so much of my days in dance class. I think Elisa definitely has some background in that, or knows someone who did. All of the pictures of the dancers that she has used here, very accurate and well detailed. The art direction and graphic design, I think, is really on point, pun intended, and I think the quality of the game is really great as well. That's all for this Kickstarter preview. Again, I'd like to thank designer Elisa Prasad for this opportunity to preview On Pointe, the ballet board game. 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, 20 to 30 minutes. Going to be published by Analog Game Studios. If you're looking for that perfect gift for the child in your life, or someone that you know that is a ballet enthusiast, I would highly recommend this game to you. Any questions, comments, leave them below. And again, thank you so much.